Hello, and welcome to Supply Chain Management and Technology blog. In today's blog, we're going to be talking about the difference between the end user in a typical business supply chain and the end user in the government supply chain. The primary difference between the business end user in the supply chain and the government supply chain end user is that the government in itself is the end user, while a business supply chain end user is typically a customer going to a retail store or people like ourselves wanting individual items. Well, why this is important to know for supply chain managers is that the buying process between the government and a typical end user on the business supply chain are extremely different. On the government side of the supply chain world, the government does not go out and buy specific items by brand. They go out and buy items by specifications. What they do is they go out and say, hey, business world, I need, for example, a 42-inch TV that's color, that does this, does that, and this. Then all these businesses go to the government and say, hey, I can supply you that requirement for this cost. Now the difference being on the business side, as an individual, if I wanted a 42-inch TV, I'd go to Best Buy or to Walmart or wherever you can buy a TV and say, I want a 42-inch TV. But you know what? I really like Sony, so I'm going to go ahead and spend that extra dollar to get that Sony because I think it's better than Samsung, for example. The government, on the other hand, typically doesn't have that much say in that. All they're doing is buying the specification and requirements, typically going with the lowest cost. Now this is important for supply chain managers to know because it will tell them how they run their supply chain depending on the government to the end user.